Welcome back to Show Em The Dore, the only podcast brought to you by Smuckers Uncrustables. My name is Christopher Conway. That is my co-host, Willem Azzinnaro. And today we're going to be talking about baseball, and a lot of it. Willem, do you have any thoughts about baseball?
Do you know when the last time I had an Uncrustable was?
When was the last time you had an Uncrustable, Willem?
I have had Uncrustables one time in the past, probably 8 years. In the last 8 years, it was one time, and it was
God?
yes. I refound God because I used to eat. I used to eat Uncrustables in high school, freshman year, sophomore year even probably.
Yeah,
but
it's a white person thing.
It's phenomenal. If that's a white person thing, I'm darn proud. Not that white people are any better than any other people, because that is not at all what I'm saying.
Okay.
I have to clarify that. The thing is, no, we're not going to get into that. I have white gills. But it was formal last year. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to make the formal cooler, which I find to be a weird tradition. I'll be honest. Yeah. Don't get it. But Brooke, I went to formal with Brooke. Hello. And she made the cooler, and it is nice. I enjoy it. It's underneath my bed right now. And in it, she put some Uncrustables.
Nice.
And I had Uncrustables for the first time in 7 years.
Okay. Do you want to hear my take on Uncrustables?
And they were so good, yeah.
Uncrustables are a S-tier snack, but like a D-tier meal.
Well, you have to eat 7.
Well, okay, people eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as lunch.
Yes, but that is not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's roughly similar. It is. You're gonna tell me an Uncrustable is not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Here's the thing, I could eat probably 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I've seen you
on a regular occasion. I could eat about 10 Uncrustables in that same occasion.
But it's just a small peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's just different. Yeah.
With that being said,
you have to eat 3 to equate to 2 sandwiches.
We are not actually sponsored by Smuckers Uncrustable, though we will tag them in this, and hopefully they will.
Do you think
send
they have
us 3?
They're on page 4 Uncrustables?
I hope so. We'll look it up after.
We will. No, we're not done here. Grape or strawberry?
Strawberry. Grape jelly is bad in any sense. Grape jelly, not it. Strawberry jelly, top tier.
So when I make sandwiches myself, I don't use jelly. Which
is weird.
I just eat peanut butter.
Your mouth is drier than any desert.
It's not dry, it's sticky.
That's what dry is. There's no moisture to de-stickify the mouth.
So, I don't know, man. I just eat a lot of peanut butter. That's why I'm strong.
Eat a lot of sand. I like peanut butter. I'm not dissing peanut butter, but peanut butter with a bunch of bread, and in my mouth, it's like cement in there.
I have a joke that I'll tell you later.
Oh my gosh.
So, I don't remember what flavor I had last year.
Hopefully strawberry if you're a sane individual.
I don't remember.
Sound of mind.
Whatever it was good. I think they're both good. I'd probably say that strawberry's better. Grape jelly is it's jelly I haven't eaten in years. I don't know. Strawberry jelly, I remember being this stuff is good.
Strawberry jelly is so good.
It is good. That being said, if you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you've got obviously a layer of peanut butter and a layer of jelly. What's the top of the sandwich? Which layer is supposed to go on top?
I don't think it matters.
I think it does. If you're holding the sandwich like this.
My question is if
you're eating it like
jelly,
this.
Why do you think it matters?
Because it's principle.
Okay, let's think
if you're eating it like this, right?
I think I have jelly on top.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I would say if I ate a sandwich with peanut butter on top, that feels so unnatural.
Why?
If the jelly's on the bottom. I have no idea why.
Okay, I don't
In my mind, I've thought about this actually. I do know. I have a hypothesis. I think it's because the peanut butter is heavier than jelly, so I want it as the base.
So you want it as a center of gravity kind of thing?
Yeah, I can
understand
upside down.
That.
It just is weird to me.
I don't necessarily okay. So when you eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, what's your do you use a lot of peanut butter and a little bit of jelly, or an even amount, or a lot of jelly? So
it's changed a lot throughout my life, right?
Yes, because this is an important question.
Yes. When I was a little kid and into my formative years, I ate so much jelly on these sandwiches. It would be a nice amount of peanut butter, nothing ridiculous, but more than average, I'd say probably. Yeah. And then a lot of jelly. I ate a lot of jelly. Mm-hmm. Then when I was in high school, I realized, jelly is really, really, really sugary and is terrible for you.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really bad for you. You shouldn't eat jelly. Kids, Stay healthy.
Don't eat jelly.
Don't eat. Stop.
Starve yourself.
Stop.
It's in your skin. Get it out.
Take it off. So I just like, what I would do is I would like dip the spoon into the jelly, but not get any jelly, and then just use like the jelly residue. Like I do that a couple times to then like just moisten it, so I get the jelly taste, but I'm not actually eating any real quantity of jelly. So that's what I would do, and then I just stopped eating jelly altogether.
That's a terrible
now
ratio.
What I do, have you seen me make a peanut butter sandwich?
I have.
I
use the
use-
entire loaf of our bread.
Darn right I have. I have to go to Costco to get more, because
Yeah, you do.
I got a hankering, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm fiending for some peanut butter sandwiches.
I bought,
I haven't eaten today.
for all our viewers, I got the 2-pack of Jif peanut butter, but like the really big ones, because I knew that if there is peanut butter in the house, Willem will eat it.
Willem, you eat peanut butter too.
I do, but not nearly at the rate that you do.
So here's the thing. I eat peanut butter less often, but I eat it in far greater quantities.
I don't think you do eat it less often, because there are oftentimes you come with the big ass tablespoon and you're like, all right, let's get us a huge tablespoon
for me.
of peanut
I'm
butter.
a growing lad.
I didn't say it was bad for you. I'm just commenting on the nature of your peanut butter consumption.
Okay. But okay. So I put an ungodly amount of peanut butter on these sandwiches.
Yes.
Like legitimately, it's probably 3 sandwiches worth
If you imagine
of peanut butter.
it's like
I get a huge scoop.
there's like
boom.
this thickness bread, this thickness peanut butter,
And we
this
have
thickness
and
bread.
we have like thick bread.
Yeah, you,
so like
you have to bite through
it's
like
more
2
it's
inches
more
of
sandwich
peanut
per
butter.
sandwich. Yeah, I'm like
More
like every bite. It's a struggle. I mean,
your
I'm
mouth is
chomping,
so
man.
dry.
No, I drink water.
That's you. Every single bite.
I would kill for peanut butter. Do you know what I've eaten today?
Nothing. You
I've
said.
had 1 sip of water and a antidepressant.
That doesn't metabolize well without food, does it?
Nope, it works just fine.
Okay.
This is brought to you by Wellbutrin.
And potentially.
It makes me feel good.
Were you,
It tries.
You were at home. We have like one of those bagels in there with like the sausage and the egg and the
I've really
cheese.
messed up my eating schedule.
Okay.
So I don't get hungry until about 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm an unhealthy individual.
But we eat lunch on Tuesday, Thursdays at noon.
Yes. The other days, I very well.
All right, we can discuss this at a different time. We're on the clock right now. So
Hold on. Say to the world what the best peanut butter is.
the best peanut butter is Jif creamy peanut butter. I am a choosy mom, and I choose Jif. The thing is there. What are you laughing about?
I'm a choosy mom.
Choosy moms choose Jif, and I am a choosy mom.
Is that like a real thing they say?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How do I never know these things? Do you know how many sayings people have said about things and I just don't know?
Apparently a lot.
So many. Like the O'Reilly Auto
You didn't know that?
I didn't know the yow.
You didn't know the yow?
I
The
didn't
yow's the
know.
best part.
I know.
Okay.
It's just so many things.
So there are lots of peanut butter brands, and they're all bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're all terrible. Okay, there is one other decent one, and it is Peter Pan Honey Roasted, and
Yeah.
specifically the honey roasted one. And that I will only accept.
if Jif is not.
Jif is, and the thing is, I would go to a different store before I bought it.
So
The issue was this summer. I don't know if you know this, but Jif had like a
the
breakout-
recall.
Yeah.
I worked at Publix, Chris. I know
Oh
this.
yeah, I forgot about that.
This is my line of
But
business.
so Jif wasn't available. I was fiending.
We're-
I was an addict. No, but what
You're on the
actually
streets like, you have the Jif?
the bigger issue was I was working for the law firm at the time, and they
Willem.
needed peanut butter, and they are also Jif people because they're
Jeeple.
sane and logical, rational human beings.
'Cause they're educated.
and choosy mothers themselves.
And fathers.
And no, only mothers. So the thing is, it's not choosy
David?
moms and dads.
Oh.
It's choosy moms.
Okay,
choose
fair
Jif.
enough, man. True.
It's not choosy parents. But so I had to. I had another joke I can't say. With this being said, I had to go buy Peter Pan for them, and I was disgusted with every single step I took for the rest of the week.
But you know what? Peter Pan comes in the biggest quantity
Oh yeah,
I've ever seen. It's
if
like
you want
this
bulk
tall.
peanut butter, you buy Peter Pan.
I go to the Sam's Club and get one that is this big and don't buy one for 2 months.
and with how he eats peanut butter, that's wildly impressive.
Ooh, it's almost absurd. It's like They should be ashamed of themselves for
you should be ashamed of
I
yourself.
am often.
Not because of like the health, but just like you are keeping Jif in business.
Yeah, the amount of money.
They're like, how can we market better to Willem?
They dropped it. So what had happened? Boston Consulting Group went to them one day, and they're like, how do we get our profits up? I'm like, okay, we've like analyzed your market. It's just this dude.
It's one guy.
It's this guy. And that is it. So we should just...
Willem filled up the bathtub one time and just ate until his heart's content. It was really crazy. He looked like that baby from that Vine. I walk in and be like, how you doing? And then the entire... it was bad. And I had to clean the bathtub so thoroughly after that. It was terrible.
Our bathtub's actually really clean right now.
I know. I've cleaned it, and so has the people that come and clean our stuff.
Yeah, all of a sudden, they clean things, like, deep clean.
First, they didn't last semester, and I had to clean it. And now I don't have to clean it anymore, so thanks, guy. Maybe he just likes us. Our guy is really cool.
He's cool.
I don't know his name.
Dante, maybe?
His name's Dante.
I've heard. Maybe.
It might be Dante. He always comes and he's like, hey, what you guys up to? And normally it's like Thursday afternoon after all our classes, so we're like, they're dying. And which is why we moved Show Em The Dore to Wednesday, so we had some semblance of energy. Because if you watch season 2, there were many times we were like dead and really going off fumes, and it was bad. Running off fumes. I said it a little bit wrong, but you got the idea. And so the guy comes in and he always like talks to us. Always offer him a Hershey kiss. He always takes a Hershey kiss, and then he goes and does his thing. And he's really cool. He talks about sports. He's a good guy. Shout out Dante if that's your name. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll ask you tomorrow. Yeah,
next tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is Thursday tomorrow.
Yes, because today is Wednesday. Willem learning how the days of the week work.
No, I just never know what day it is. And that's scary.
Yeah, separate problem.
Do you know how fast the weeks move? In my mind?
No.
It was just Sunday the other day.
Yes,
that felt like
3 days ago, in fact.
That felt like it could have been yesterday. Okay.
This is gonna rival the insurance episode.
What we're doing here.
This is gonna rival the insurance one of just. How long will you guys watch Willem and I ramble?
Probably longer than you'd listen about sports because I'm interesting.
Willem, you are interesting.
Here's the thing, man.
Yep.
Side note, not to distract from the regular thing.
As if we had a note.
if anything, I hope to be interesting. You can like me or dislike me, but my hope is that you'll never be able to say that like I'm boring.
Yeah.
Or like you don't remember me. You'll remember me, whether it be for better or worse. And that's why I ask certain odd questions. That's how I got bro. I was like, even if you don't like me, you'll always be intrigued. You know what I mean? Because of the weird stuff I say.
It's what Genghis Khan said as he took over all of Asia.
He was wildly successful too.
So you might hate me. You won't forget it.
Yeah. What was I?
You know?
My main point. I closed your computer for this.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, so how I track the days of the week. I base it off of
me.
Intramural sports. I know that I play intramural volleyball at 9 p.m. on Sundays. And I know that I play intramural basketball at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays.
He's gonna add another one when we get into our wiffle ball.
That's not games. Intramural, but yes, essentially.
It's roughly the same thing.
Yeah, sure. Intramural's free. We had to pay $5 a piece to get into that league.
Oh no!
It broke the bank, Chris.
Oh no!
Oh no. So like, in my mind, all I ever think is, how many days is it until I play volleyball again? Because volleyball kindles joy in my heart. You know what I mean? I'd like to say I'm okay at it. I'm pretty good. I can't serve to save my life. Have I told you that?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yep.
I'm really, really bad at that. The rest of it. So right now, I'm really surprised.
You're just in the gray area?
I'm really surprised. Yeah, I'm in the liminal state of being where I'm like, it's not a volleyball day, and it's not Tuesday, and it's not Monday, which is right between them both, so it feels good. It's like the drought.
Have you seen
it's the dry season.
Have you seen the meme where it's like Schrodinger, so the cat can be alive or dead in the box, and it's like meow, Schrodinger, ignore that. That's what it feels like to be you right now.
Yeah, I'm in the box, man.
So what about classes? Like, we went to Craig's today.
Yeah.
And you know it's the second time we've been to Craig's this week.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
School
Like,
is
I know
not
that we don't
nearly
have
as important.
Craig's on Friday.
Sure, yeah.
So in 2 days, I'll wake up not knowing it's Friday, but somehow know that I don't need to go to Craig's. Like, I'm in an honors seminar.
Yes, you are. Are you?
I am. I show up sometimes.
What are we at in terms of percentages?
3 of 7?
Are we at 3 of 7 now?
No, it's 3 of 7, and I've been present 5 of 7.
Wow. So
I was
like
late. I was late.
3.6.
Technically, I was 2 minutes late today, but it's 8:40 in the morning. That does not count, dude.
No, that counts.
Come on.
That counts. That's 2/3 of the time.
I was busy.
No.
So like, I don't know. I only go on Wednesdays, right? Mm-hmm. 1 day a week at 8:40 in the morning. So some days I have to wake up. I don't know how early you people wake up. You may have jobs and go to like high school or something. So like, I know you have to wake up early, and like Anthony and Luke. Luke doesn't watch my podcast. If Anthony watches my podcast,
Does Luke really not watch the pod?
probably not.
Luke, fake fan.
I don't know.
He commented on the first
My parents
episode.
don't watch it anymore.
Why do your parents not watch it?
I don't know. They're busy people, maybe.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I get it.
I don't know. Anthony watches it, I believe.
Shout out Anthony. Anthony's a cool dude.
For real. And I know you wake up really early, but like to me, if I have to wake up at 7:45, you as an Anthony, if I have to wake up at 7:45, that's really early, right? I can't.
He will not function in the real world.
Oh, I function. I just can't get out of bed. If I get out of bed, I'm fine. I just am incapable of leaving the bed.
For all our Show 'em the Door viewers, you want to hear a really funny story that happened like last week? So it was a Wednesday because he didn't get out of bed for his honors seminar. And I wake up to his alarm because of the fact that his alarm is... I am the person that I will wake up to the first ring of every alarm ever.
I used to be like that.
I cannot sleep through alarms. If things are happening in the room that I am in while I am sleeping, I am awake. So, Willem's alarm goes off. It's some weird chime flowing water thing, which I think part of the reason why it doesn't wake you up enough to get you out of bed.
It's the automatic Apple wake up alarm. It's not the alarm. It's like my wake up schedule.
I don't know
it's
what
that
is.
automatically.
I don't know what sound that is.
Okay, neither do I.
But but it's not the like the one that really everybody hates, or it's not the wah 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 one, because I think that's another one that really wakes people up.
I'll change my alarm.
So it's like a really, like, I could see people sleeping through that alarm, where I could never see somebody sleeping through the wah wah alarm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waking up immediately to this alarm. And I don't know if you, this is added to the lore of who Willem is, but Willem sleeps with the blanket over his head as if he is a cloaked wizard. And so he is like...
It brings me psychological safety.
It does?
Yeah, I feel good.
You feel swaddled?
No, I don't feel swaddled. I feel safe. I want to be swaddled is the thing.
Okay, that's a different topic.
I've discussed this with like many a person.
So he's cloaked, and he is like wrapped so tight that a bed bug could not even possibly dream of biting him.
Legitimately.
And I like look over because I'm looking at him and his alarm going off in minor frustration because it's been going off for now 30 seconds of me just being like, I can't believe I'm seeing the sun right now. And
there is no sun.
He like sits up like he doesn't sit up, rather. He's laying on his
stomach. First I like emerge.
Well, no. I'm getting there.
Oh.
I'm getting there. Because the thing is you didn't emerge first. You like went up a little bit, still cloaked.
Oh.
So he came up like it was. I don't know what position he's in because I didn't have my contacts in. But I like to imagine that he just rose like that off his stomach, just with no supports of anything. And then he like unhoods himself very quickly, grabs his phone. These are like very jerky actions, as if he's like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. And he turns it off, puts it down, and then throws his cloak back on and turns around. And so the reason I know this happened is because I go, Willem, what time is it? And he doesn't answer me. And I'm like, okay, I have an alarm for later, because I looked at my phone because he didn't tell me what time it was. And so then I wake up, I get ready. That was one class I skipped because the next day I had a test. But I still wanted to wake up on time because I wanted to use that time for studying. So not more than 2 hours later do I get a snap from Willem, even though he's in the same apartment that I am in. And it says, "Did I sleep through my alarm this morning?" And I walk in the room, like I burst in. I'm like, not only did you sleep through your alarm this morning, but you turned it off and like unemerged and reemerged into your sleep. And he's like, I do not remember that at all. And so...
I also didn't realize you were here. So
well, yeah,
like, when I
wouldn't have
texted
been
you, I
wrong.
was like, he's gone for sure. No, and then you're just there, and I'm like...
So you see me... Yeah, I guess I would have... No, but the time I woke up, it was past the point where my class would have been in. Like, I should have been there. This is semantics at this point.
Yeah, but like, the thing is, no. Sorry. I don't know what day it is. If not for ball, whether that be volley or
Basket? Soon
I wouldn't know what day it is. Soon wiffle. If you have a wiffle ball, hit us up.
Yeah, we have
a bat,
wiffle ball
but
that
no
we
ball.
were given. We have the bat though.
So we just been swinging it around.
True, I've been beating Willem with it. You know.
I've enjoyed it. It's been a good time. But we don't have the ball.
No, we don't. We could use a racquetball, but we don't want to risk losing the racquetball because racquetballs will fly longer than wiffle balls.
It's a good racquetball.
It's a racquetball.
I like the racquetball.
I understand why you like the racquetball, but to say that it is an objectively better than normal racquetball...
I don't know if I've ever touched.
I like the blue ones
racquetball.
more. The blue ones, I think, are a bit bouncier. Though I like it. It's a good racquetball.
Fair enough.
It's like off-brand, great value. Person who probably gave it to you is probably stupid. I'm just kidding.
Do you know where it came from?
I do.
That's why I know where it came from before.
Oh, no, I know Brooke gave it to you.
It was from her mom.
Oh, then yeah, it's stupid. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Brooke's mom and Brooke. I'm sure you are a lovely woman. I don't remember your name.
Amanda.
That
She's
makes
great.
sense.
She
seems like an Amanda.
She's very nice.
Okay.
I say too many like personal things on this podcast, but I'm in a Facebook like messenger group.
My
with
address
Brooke
is...
and her mom, and she sends us pictures of their dogs and cats.
Nice.
Because she knows that I love their dogs and cats.
Their dogs
And
cats
it
are
is
great.
amazing. Every once in a while, she's like, she'll send the stuff and say something, and I'm like, there they are!
You're like,
Those are my
ooh,
boys.
there's the dopamine, baby.
There we go!
Um,
And for a moment, all is right with the world.
Are we ever going to talk about baseball?
Eventually.
You know, I think we've been recording for a while, and I think this does beat the episode of the longest we've ever spent rambling about anything but
22
sports.
minutes was the goal.
Was the goal? We didn't have a
No,
goal.
on my bucket list is to talk about non-sports for longer than the shortest episode of sports. The shortest episode of sports was 22 minutes.
Really?
So we have to make it 22
Wow.
minutes. I think it's been 22 minutes.
I would hazard a guess it has been 22 minutes.
To play it safe, I'm just going to start you for a brief second.
No, that'll be our thumbnail. Okay. So let's talk about baseball because it was supposed to be the Bepisode, but instead it's the Smepisode. Smuckers.
Oh yeah,
The Uncrustasode.
the Uncrustables.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll
talk about this after. So first, let's get a rundown of who we think will actually be playing baseball for the Vanderbilt Commodores this year.
You may be asking us, who's going to be playing?
And I would give you a detailed breakdown of said players. So let me do that right now. First, not first base, but first.
Primero.
I'm going to start with spots that are locked down and definite. Spots that I'm sure the players will be playing, but I do not know where. And then spots that I would say are up for grabs while giving you those spots and who I think will be in them. I think that's a pretty fair way to break it out. And then we'll talk about batting order, and then we'll talk about schedule. So, locked down spots. I believe there is at minimum 2, at maximum 4.
How many?
Minimum 2, maximum 4.
Maximum is how many, Chris?
So, number one, who I think the safest position in all of Vanderbilt baseball is center field and Enrique Bradfield Jr. He is going to be the best player in baseball. He'll win the Golden Spikes Award. He'll win National Player of the Year because I think this is his junior breakout year. He will add the power to his speed, though I think he should try to hit for contact. I think that instead of falling in love with his power as he did last season, he will use it situationally when necessary, and he will be able to drive into the gaps to get triples on more at-bats than you will see from anybody ever. That might be a bit of an over-ambitious thing, but I genuinely, I don't know what the record for triples in college baseball is, but I have to imagine if anybody could beat it, it's Enrique Bradfield Jr., because anything that is a double, if it's hit into right center, he can make a triple. Okay, so the most lockdown spot. I would argue that the second most lockdown spot in all of Vanderbilt baseball this year is Jack Bolger in the catcher.
Yeah.
Because the other people behind him are Alan Espinal, who is kind of mid, and then a bunch of freshmen who aren't all that highly touted. So it's less of a, Jack Bolger's really, really, really good, and more of a
he's what we have.
He's what we got, that's for sure.
And he plays better behind the dish.
Yes.
So
it makes him hit better.
Yeah.
And so
put him at first, and he's not going to do as well. It's maximizing his talent.
Right. I'm also not including pitchers because that's an entirely separate conversation.
We're going to have the pep episode pretty soon.
We can talk about pitchers.
No, we're going to spend 50 minutes talking about pitchers in another
We're
episode.
not doing that.
Yeah, no.
We'll talk about pitchers in a similar state in a second. But, okay, those are the two. Now, the two that I think also could be locked down, but I'm not, it's 99% sure and not 100, is right field RJ Schreck. Because he's transferred from Duke. He's played really, really well in the preliminary series and, the scrimmages and all that kind of stuff. Man hit, 3 homers in one of them. Man is crazy. He was also the last player to play who played on the Duke team that Kumar Rocker no-hit in the Super Regional. Yeah. I saw that stat on Twitter the other day.
Crazy.
Shout out Arya Gerson for that information.
Arya Gerson goated for real.
Arya Gerson is pretty goated.
Who is she?
She is our Vanderbilt
who is
beat
she?
writer. What do you mean, who is she? You want me to tell you a lifetime bio?
Was she a student, or is she just some random
She went to
person?
Michigan. She was on the Michigan newspaper and wrote for them for a while, and then she got hired by the Tennessean, and she is Vanderbilt's
That makes sense.
beat writer through the Tennessean.
Nice.
So RJ Schreck, really, really solid. Going to be really, really good, I think, this year. I think he is one of the more underrated acquisitions in the SEC. And I would argue that the next most locked down spot and player, I would argue, is Calvin Hewitt in left. I think our outfield is pretty much solid.
Hammered down.
The only reason I have pause on that is because Coach Corbin likes to cycle players through left. That's his...
Yeah, that's his I'll give you a chance in left kind of thing. I could see TJ playing a lot in left.
Yeah. I would even argue... No, Matthew Polk's more of a utility infielder, but I think he could play out there.
Yeah, probably.
I imagine some freshmen might get some reps out there if he wants to get them some at-bats.
I'll go out there.
Yeah. But I think Calvin Hewitt, by the time we get our lineup solidified for SEC play, he will be our starter on left, and I think he has a lot of hitting potential. Man was batting crazy numbers with crazy power stats before he got hurt last year, and even a little bit after he started recovering later in the season. Yeah, Cal.
Yeah. He was in Andy Van Schack's class with me.
Was he? Mm-hmm. Shout out Andy Van Schack.
They were supposed to sit in the front of the classroom, and he never did.
I thought that was football. No, that is baseball. You're right.
Yeah, 'cause Spencer told me that.
Shout out Spencer Jones, first guest ever on
Yankee.
Show Em The Dore. Yank. So spots that I think are up for grabs, but I think that they will definitely be on the field, is Davis Diaz and Parker Noland. They are both immensely touted and well respected by Coach Corbin and have a lot of talent and production there.
They're cool.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say Diaz will be at... This is hard. No, he's definitely not going to be at second. Diaz will either be third or shortstop, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Diaz at shortstop.
I'd say that as well.
I think that is at least where he will start. And then I think Parker Noland will go between third and first. I don't know where he gets locked down. I don't think Parker Noland necessarily has the glove for first. I think that he let too many balls get by him last season on too regular of a basis.
I think he's a third baseman.
I would agree. I think he's the best third baseman on the team. If maybe Maybe Davis Diaz is a better third baseman, but he'll be playing shortstop. So
Yeah, it would be good at shortstop.
So I think Parker Nolan's our third baseman.
Yep.
That's about where I'm at in that category. And then there are spots that are up for grabs that I'm going to give you who I think is going to be there, but I'm not positive. I think Jonathan Vastine will be our second baseman. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being that Jonathan Vastine went to shortstop and Diaz went to third.
Yeah.
Because Jonathan Vastine is probably the best middle infielder we have on the team.
Yep.
And so that's what gives me a little bit of pause regarding putting Diaz at shortstop, because I think Vastine might be a better shortstop. Now, he is, when you think of like a shortstop, you think of not only a great defender, but like a really solid hitter. Diaz definitely is a better all-around player.
Yeah.
But Vastine is a ace of a defender. Like he is one of the more sure-handed middle infielders, or even any infielder I've ever seen in terms of college baseball. And I think that he will be what Carter Young was in his prime before he started making all the mental mistakes. And I love Carter Young. I hope he's doing so well wherever he got drafted. I kind of forgot because he transferred to LSU, then got drafted. But, he was, when Carter Young didn't let 3 ground balls go beneath his glove, man was probably the best shortstop I've ever seen. And I think Vastine has all of the tools to be better than him.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's 3 of the 4, and the 4th, I'm not sure of. I think that Matthew Polk gets some looks at first.
R.J. Austin.
R.J. Austin, I like. I don't know. He's a little banged up right now.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Why is he
What'd
banged
you do?
up? Hold on. If I look at the where I saw it real quick. Dun 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 dun. Ding. Where is it?
Remember how that song starts.
So where is it? Okay, I don't know where it is, but it says I would argue that he is going to be on the field. And so I would say that RJ Austin, I thought it said that he was a little banged up. Okay, so I found it. So they were talking about the what the black and gold game was called this year, which is the Fall Ball David Williams Goldfather Classic. Don't know why they called it that. But top infield recruit, shortstop RJ Austin did not play in that game. Neither did Enrique, as they were both dinged up. So in that game, the other people other than Matthew Polk that I talked about were Ivan Arias, Matt Wolf, and Raymond Velasquez. I don't know who. Also, Davis Diaz played at first in that game, but there's no way Davis Diaz will pit. I don't know why Davis Diaz will not play at first in the game. Like, he's just too valuable of a middle infielder to play at first. At least that's what I see. And so I think RJ Austin will probably get that first bid, because if he can be a good first baseman, he has all of the speed to be an insane contact hitter. Like, if he can just get on base, it's going to be like Enrique. I'm really excited to see how his play speed translates, because I think he has a faster 60-yard dash than Enrique Bradfield Jr.
Yeah.
And if he has the burst that, the thing is while Enrique is really, really fast, he also gets up to top speed insanely quickly.
Yeah.
And so if RJ Austin has something similar to that, I mean, we could just be having another 3 years of Enrique Bradfield Jr., which is...
There's a lot more that goes into it than just like that straight line speed. Like, you got to know when to steal and stuff. It's a lot, but
if he has
he very well could have it.
Yeah, like there's a chance. He's
played well and he's done well. And he's immensely talented.
Yeah, he was like
it's hard to say that anybody's like equated similar to Enrique, but if anybody, it's this dude.
And so I think I would say that by SEC play, our infield will be some combination of Vastine, Diaz, Noland, Austin. And so that is who I think will be our defense and why I think that. Now let's talk about pitchers real quick. We talked about pitchers on maybe last episode, but I don't know. But here is the pitchers who I think can vie for a starting spot. Holton, Futrell, Riley, Owen Dutkanch. I don't think that's how you pronounce it also. But we're going to call him Andrew Dutkanch right now until I get a better pronunciation. And I would argue Maldonado. He started last year before he got hurt. I think that he should move back to the bullpen. But I think that all 6 of those, Sam Laboki, you could also say, I think we have those, like, and all of those guys, I think, have potential to be starters.
Yeah.
So here's what I imagine we're actually going to do. At the start of the year, we're going to have Holton pitching because he is the only one who I fully trust to start an entire game. I do not trust, at the present moment, another pitcher to start the entire game. I don't think that what Futrell did last season was particularly impressive. He played well in the last couple series, and I'll give him that, and I hope to see some development from that time. But, he played great in the midweeks against lesser competition.
But he's not playing like Saturday ball.
No, but then when he did play Saturday ball, he looked like garbage.
He didn't play well. He didn't play good Saturday ball.
But then, you'd expect him to look like garbage because he's a freshman going against the SEC. But then he got better by the end. Like, he had a great game versus Arkansas in our last series, and he had a great game in our regional. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think he can be or I don't think he's good. I said I don't trust him right now.
Yeah.
Whereas I have full faith that Carter Holton, even if he has a bad game, it's not indicative of who he is as a pitcher. I don't feel that way about Futrell, and I don't feel that way about Hunter Owen, and I definitely don't feel that way about Patrick Riley. Andrew Dutkanch, I don't trust because I haven't seen him. I think he could be really, really good, and I think he'll have a Carter Holton type year, but I don't know that yet, And so it's hard for me to say that any of these guys are going to be great starters. And that's not even saying Sam Laboki, who's just come off a major injury, and Maldonado, who looked not great in starting action last year after looking amazing in the bullpen. I think that what Maldonado has, I don't think he has enough pitches to be a starter because he has 2 really good and a third kind of mid pitch. And that is not great starting tools.
Yeah, who else had that problem? I feel like we had another guy who it's like, you got a bag of like 3 pitches.
Are you talking about the Law?
It was someone that tried to start, and we're like, what? I don't get it.
I don't remember. I don't know. Do you remember what year?
Maybe I'm thinking, maybe it's, I don't know. Never mind. Keep going.
But I think that is exactly what you want from a guy in the bullpen.
Yeah.
I think that you could, like if he's your closer, we still have, Thomas Schultz. Like, he's still on the team. Like,
didn't he make the Peanuts franchise?
Maybe.
Like Charlie Brown?
A different Thomas Schultz. But Thomas Schultz was one of the... Oh, was it? Okay. Thomas Schultz was, like, in my opinion, the best closer in the game last year. And in the game meaning college baseball. And so if you have Maldo return to 2021 form, right? Or am I thinking 2020 form?
2021.
2021 form in the with the M&M crew with Murphy, Maldonado, and McIlvain.
McIlvain.
Yeah, I hope McIlvain's doing well. But if you have Maldonado return to that form, and you have Thomas Schultz be the star that he was, you could theoretically, I think you win almost every game with the Holton-Schultz combination, and then you just throw and churn pitchers in the next 2 days. I would argue that you should have each of them pitching 3 innings. And if my 3 innings were Futrell, Hunter Owen, and Maldonado, one of those guys is going to take you more than 3 innings.
Yeah.
And if the next day it is something like Riley,
Laboki,
and Dutkanch, I mean, like...
that's winning baseball.
Yeah, and that's not even.
And somebody will emerge from that.
That's not even thinking about like Jack Anderson, who was still on the team.
Yeah.
And Jack Anderson, like, he didn't pitch a lot of innings, but he also, when he pitched, he didn't let anybody get on. Like, he was like, I think statistically the most successful pitcher last year. Yeah, he is. But like, he would only pitch like 1 inning, but it would be like the most shutdown inning you'd expect. And so, like, the thing is we have so many pitchers that have so much talent that, like, we could realistically just churn guys. And we would have, in my opinion, some solid success.
Yeah.
I would even argue if you wanted to put Schultz on Sunday and you wanted to move somebody like Hunter Owen to close for Carter Holton, just in case you're like not feeling as comfortable about your Sunday lineup with being like, 3 churn kind of not sure about pitchers, that's fine with me. Like if you want to make sure you have somebody there who you know is going to get you at like 3 great innings, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's just we have so much versatility, and obviously it would be optimal if everyone was going to pan out. Everyone's not going to pan out.
Yeah.
But if it would be so cool to just see it, like their batters could never get comfortable. You would see them once or maybe 1.5 times through the lineup, and then boom, somebody new's in who also can. That's not even considering Grayson Moore and Grayson Carter and like Grayson Moore last year was one of the best relievers by the end of the year. Like through the last half of the year, man was going nuts. Grayson Carter is coming off injury, and bro was throwing 98 in the black and gold games. Like he was a little bit like Patrick Riley, where it was a little all over the place. But if he can refine that in and just make himself like Luke Murphy was, like we have a bevy of. We're not even thinking about Ryan Ginther. Like we have so many pitchers. It is insane.
That's nuts.
Yeah, all of those guys, I'm comfortable with playing 2 innings.
Yeah.
And so, like, if all of those guys can play 2 innings. I mean, that's enough for an entire weekend series and the midweek.
That's good baseball.
Yeah. And so talk about something while I make sure I'm not missing anybody.
So, one time when we went to a baseball game, it was really cold, but the sun was out and it was like getting us. And I was wearing ripped jeans and a hoodie because it was really cold, but the sun was getting us. So we got really sunburned. And Chris got the mask burn because it was in COVID. And I got like the stupid knee burns because I was in the ripped jeans. But it was cold too. So I was like so confused.
I missed Bryce Cunningham.
Bryce Cunningham? Dude, come on.
Okay, sorry. Michael Doolin?
I don't think Michael Doolin's going to pitch that much, but
I think he could. No, I'm not. I hit everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Troy LaNeve.
Troy LaNeve? Here, I'm just going to list our pitchers, and I'm going to talk about what, like, Ryan Ginther, going to be a pretty good backup. He did really well at the end of last year, and he did really well in summer ball, what I've heard. Like, he's one of what people, like, Arya Gerson listed him as one of their breakout people.
Really?
Yeah. Carter Holton is going to be a stud, of course. I don't know who J.D. Thompson is. Nick Maldonado will be a great, weird mix of half starter, half bullpen, in my opinion.
Maldo.
Hunter Owen will be, like, you churn him and see what's going on. Grayson Moore is a great guy that I talked about. I don't know who David Horn is. He's a freshman. Sam Leboki's coming back as a senior. But, I mean, he's a 6'3" left-hand pitcher. Right-hand pitcher, rather. Michael Doolin, who is also coming off injury. I think his timeline's a little different than Leboki's, but I've heard he's really good. I don't know who Colton Regan is. Thomas Schultz, one of the best closers in the game. Duck Canch, a top 50 overall freshman who would have been drafted in the first few rounds if he didn't pull his name out of the draft. Patrick Riley, Devin Fattrell, Bryce Cunningham, Grayson Carter, Jack Anderson. Yeah. Jack Anderson went to NBA? Crazy.
Went to NBA? Wow.
Yeah. That is the most talented. I think that could be the most talented pitching staff in the nation. And if we had somebody that I believed in, like, as heavily as I believed in, like, Jack and Kumar, I could argue that it might be the best
we've ever had.
Yeah. Like, if for some reason Jack Leiter was still on the team, this would be the best pitching staff I think ever assembled in college baseball. And that's including when Garrett Cole and who's that other really, really great pitcher who plays for the Dodgers who got suspended?
Oh!
You all know who I'm talking about. His name? The guy who really hated Garrett Cole and who was on the UCLA team with him.
What?
So Garrett Cole went to UCLA. Mm-hmm. The other guy who was on the Dodgers who just got suspended for something. He was like the big guy about throwing with sticky stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'm gonna look
Number 50, I want to say.
UCLA pitcher, MLB.
Trevor Bauer.
Yes.
He plays in Cleveland?
Oh, okay. Apparently,
He just now went. What the heck?
Okay, I'm sorry. This was my MLB knowledge is limited.
No, this just happened. Must have been.
Okay.
I remember Garrett Cole left, but Trevor Bauer plays in Cleveland.
Yeah, evidently.
They've got good pitchers with him and McKenzie.
Sorry. But Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole were on the same UCLA team in college, and they were both really, really good. I think that if we had Jack Leiter on this Vanderbilt team, they would be even better as an entire staff. And I don't think it's particularly close. Wow. Just because, like, of those guys I mentioned, only 2 I don't know, and those 2 are the only people who I don't trust to play 2 to 3 innings. You know, do I trust somebody to start? Do I trust them all to start? No, absolutely I don't. But do I trust them all to get me 6, 7 outs? Absolutely.
Yep. And then from that, when you give them 3 innings, somebody's going to, like, really take that well, emerge, and then you put them as...
Yeah, and
somebody...
It keeps them fresh later in the season.
Exactly.
Like, okay, so we'll talk about batting order, and then we can go through schedule real quick. Okay, batting order, the thing is it depends on how they want to make it, because I think we're going to go under the assumption that our field is Jack Bolger, RJ Austin, Vastine, Diaz, Noland, Shrek, Hewitt, Bradfield.
Yeah.
And then DH, TJ McKenzie. With that being said, Reek will be number 1. I think Noland will be 2. Because while Noland has a lot of power, I think that he will emerge as one of the best contact hitters in the nation this year. And I think that's what you need for Enrique. I would put Shrek at 3, and I'd put TJ McKenzie at 4. I would then put RJ Austin at 5, Jack Bolger at 6, Hewitt at 7. Who am I missing?
Vastine and Diaz.
Diaz at 8, Vastine at 9. Ooh, maybe different idea. Noland to 8, Diaz at 2.
Yes. That's it.
Here's how I imagine this is going to go. It's going to be almost 2 sets of the same thing. Speed, contact, power. And then there's somebody in between. But so
whoever
it's speed,
we toss out there.
Reek. Contact, Diaz and Noland. I'm sorry, the other speed was RJ Austin, if that wasn't clear. Contact after that was... because TJ's power. Shrek and Bolger, and then power is McKenzie and Hewitt. And then Vastine will be at 9 because I don't trust Vastine to hit the ball effectively.
It's the same thing. I think Corbin does it every year, where he just manufactures runs that way.
Yeah.
Because it was Enrique, Carter Young, and then Dom.
Yeah, and then Dom and Spencer.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
I'm relatively certain our top 4 will be Reek and then Diaz, and then whoever he trusts most to get a hit.
Yeah.
Not a powerful hit, but a hit. Because I think if you put Reek and Diaz, you assume Enrique is going to be at least on second, if not on third.
You don't need power.
And then if Enrique is on second looking to steal third and Diaz is on base, they're going to throw to Enrique on third, and then Diaz will essentially get a free base.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, Shrek has been great. I think he could be at that 3 spot. I think Hewitt could maybe be that 3 spot. I think Nolan could be that 3 spot. You know, I don't know. I think that he might test with things like the 5, like the kind of 4 through 7 area being just pure contact hitters for some instance like Shrek, McKenzie, Bolger, Noland. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was a thing just to keep. I think hitting is contagious in baseball.
Yeah.
And so I would argue that if he thinks that 1 through 4 will work in that way, he might just shove all his contact hitters right there to keep everybody going, and might sacrifice 8 and 9 to be like, if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. But I mean,
that's 7 really solid.
Yeah, and that
at
I mean,
bats.
If you get 7 really solid at bats with
the last
Enrique
2
and
don't
Diaz,
really matter.
Yeah, like say you throw in RJ Austin in the middle of that, you're expecting 4 to 5 runs.
Yeah.
And if you can do that on a regular basis, you win every single game.
Yeah. With that pitching staff?
Yeah. And like the thing is if Vanderbilt's offense is decent, we're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
Because our defense is going to be top tier.
It's a World Series defense.
Though it's a World Series pitching staff,
Or pitching staff, rather, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I have no idea about offense, but their defense is going to be solid.
Offense is always kind of our questionable area. Even last year when we had Dom and Spencer. And
it was just we only had Dom and Spencer. Really.
That was it.
So let's go through the schedule real quick. We start with college baseball. I'm only going to do the big things and then SEC series. Okay? So we start with a kind of round robin thing in Texas. And we play TCU, Oklahoma State, and Texas. I envision we're going to win 2 of those 3 games because TCU and Oklahoma State are both also top 15 teams. We're going to be dealing with a lot of youth, and Texas is not ranked. I envision we'll beat them, even though Texas is always very good. I don't know. If we come out of this 3-0, I think our season is going to start looking really, really good.
Yeah. Did we play Oklahoma State really early last season,
We played.
too?
They were our first series we ever played.
Huh.
I went to the games.
Nice.
Blah, 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 blah.
Dude, Austin P, you're just skipping right over. Loyola Marymount.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
We start with Ole
WCC
Miss.
baseball.
So I read a thing about what's really important is the fact that our schedule with the weather is aligned really well.
Good.
Because the teams that will come into Vandy and hit really well are early in the season, i.e. Ole Miss, i.e. Georgia, we're at Tennessee in late April. Maybe that one might be a little rough. But specifically Georgia and Ole Miss, who are very offense-driven teams, they are 2 of our 3 series first. 2 of our 3 first series. And so Ole Miss, I think we are going to beat. If we can get our pitching sorted out, I would imagine we sweep Ole Miss. Because even though they won the chip last year, I kind of don't think they're all that great. Mm-hmm. I think they're inconsistent at best. And I think that Corbs, by the time we get to SEC play, will have us at a pretty good model of consistency.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, we are at Mississippi State, and I think that we win 2-1. And I think it will be a big upset. Because right now, Mississippi State's ranked really well, but I think that Vanderbilt, we have beat Mississippi State, then lost them in the championship, and then we didn't play them last year, and I think they're going to be mad about losing in the World Series. So I think we win that series 2-1. Versus Georgia kind of seems like one that we'll slip up on. Maybe I'm underselling this team a little bit, but I feel like Georgia will come in and they just might have a really great day. I think it will depend on weather because I think we're going to play a lot of small ball and not rely on the home run, where I think Georgia will because their defense isn't all that great. And so I think we're going to get burned by one of these teams that have great offense, and that's okay. And I think Georgia is the one that happens. I think if we don't lose 2, we'll lose 1 for sure. Yeah. Mizzou, I think we beat up on Mizzou because they're terrible. South Carolina, I think we'll beat up on South Carolina because they embarrassed us last year. And we were in South Carolina, and we don't want to have that happen again. Also, that was Parker or Carter Holton? Carter Holton. It was Carter. I don't know why I kept saying yeah. I don't know. But it was Carter Holton's worst performance as a starter ever. Man gave up 7 runs and 2 outs. You didn't watch that game? I was watching it, and it was the saddest game I've ever seen in my whole life. So he's going to be mad because he's going to remember that from his freshman year. Tennessee, we will probably get swept. Tennessee is really, really good. They don't really have a lot of weaknesses.
And it's in Lindsey Nelson, and they're 25 feet home run lines.
Yeah, it's just...
Jeez.
We'll beat up on Kentucky because Kentucky's terrible. I think we'll beat up on Alabama, even though Alabama's not a terrible team. I think we're better than them.
Yep.
I think we will lose to Florida 2-1 because Florida is a really good team. And I know they're always a little overrated to start the season, but I still think that they're probably better than this Vanderbilt team. And in the swamp, it is hard to win.
Yeah.
And I think we'll beat Arkansas because we traditionally do well against Arkansas when they don't have a guy named Kevin Kopps. And it is in Nashville this year. Though I can understand we might end up losing that series as we beat them in their home last year, and so they might have a little extra motivation to come beat us in Nashville.
Yeah.
With that being said, that is all of our series. I envision that we are going to be hosting. I think if everything happens as I said it, I think we'll be hosting a regional, but for sure. And I also think that there is a chance that we could be hosting a super regional, depending on if we maybe sneak a game from Tennessee or only lose a series to Tennessee and another top-ranked team like Florida.
Georgia, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we sneak the series from Georgia and only have series losses to teams like Florida, Tennessee, maybe Mississippi State, who's also ranked extremely highly, I mean, they can be like, okay, those are 3 of the top 5 teams in the nation.
Yeah.
And if we sneak games, even though we lose our series, I think there's a chance we're put around the 8 mark. And if we can host a regional and a super regional, there are worse things.
Successful baseball, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to win a super regional in Nashville. So I think that there's a chance we go to the College World Series this year. It's going to depend on rather how our offense looks, because I think our defense is more of a set in stone thing.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that is it for today.
Yep.
This was a really fun episode. I enjoyed doing this. I enjoyed just coming in here and rambling with you for 30 minutes and then talking about sports. This is what we do at home.
Hashtag awesome, baby.
Yeah, Dick Vitale. Dickie V.
Shout out Dickie V.
Do you have anything to say before we wrap up here?
Shout out Dickie V.
Shout out Dickie V for sure. But with that being said, Willem, do you want to send us off this time?
This has been Show Em The Dore podcast. Bye.